Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia and this is the situation report or the summary for the day of 1065 to 1066 for the 23rd to 24th of January. So we're going to do from in the anti-clockwise direction coming from Kherson front first. Over at the Kherson front, we have mainly shelling reports. We have the Ukrainians talking about fighting in the Dnipro direction, but of course, as usual, we do not know where the hell it is. And Shaolin is being reported as Zmievka or Zmievka, Kozatske, Tokarevka. This is the alleged attack. No, I just always put here in the Dnipropetrovsky region, and there's a geolocation of a Russian airstrike at Antonovki, basically at the end of the bridge, towards Oleshki. So, or that Dachi. So that's all. Nothing particularly special about this. Over in the Zaporizhia front, we only have fighting being reported at the Orikhiv sector, with Russians attacking at Novodanilivka and Malotomashka, reported by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry yesterday. But that's about it. Both is by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry by yesterday. On the 23rd, there was no fighting being reported at the Zaporizhia front. Over at the Velyka Novosilka region. So we cover the western side first. Over at the Velyka Novosilka front, there is geolocation of Russian forces at Livatne. Fighting is reported at Novodarivka, Novopil, as well as Temerivka. So that's all. Nothing particularly, significant. I would say that this area here, 23rd, this 23rd, this 23rd. So as you can see, it's just a one-off, and maybe the Russians are trying and see if the Ukrainians withdraw from this position, but they did not. As usual, Ukraine don't like to do withdrawals. Yeah, they like to just go in and stay there and just let it all out inside. So, and they all just die there over time. So over in the Velyka Novosilka, the battle of the Velyka Novosilka continues. There is new developments. So anyway, we just covered first the whole of Section A, as mentioned in the conclusions, is now taken by the Russian forces with geolocation confirming that situation. And then in the eastern part, the entire eastern part have fallen to the Russians. According to the Ukrainian mapping, they even go all the way to the center by bypassing the stadium. Russian mapping have claimed that everything north of the bridge is already taken. So I think I need to zoom in so you can see. So there's a stadium here. The stadium is allegedly taken by the Russian forces, and the Ukrainian mapping map that the Russians have actually advanced further into the further down the main road heading towards the bridge at Vremivka. Russian mapping claimed that the entire southern part here is taken by the Russian forces, and but this is just a claim, not confirmed yet. Geolocation of Russian forces around the stadium, this confirms Russian presence, and there is geolocation of Russian strike on Ukrainian positions, and the latest geolocation shows a Russian flag being installed at this high building, on this blue roof building, which of course utterly is quite smashed. But there is an important thing to note is that there is no Russian soldiers being seen in this video, and this is just a flag at the top of the building. I suspect this is planted planted with drone. I don't think it's human. I don't think it's safe for any soldier to basically climb up to the roof of this building. So I do not see this as a frontline change. This geolocation of this flag, I do not acknowledge this as a change. I did see, the Krimi Caprice, which is the pro-Russian. Nowadays, I see him as pro-Russian, but he is pretty neutral in his geolocation. But he will map it like this, with the Russian forces taking all of the south, the section C of sector C of Velyka Novosilka. I don't think this is correct. Because there is totally no Russian soldiers inside in the video. So the video shows this entire region, as well as then after that the entire region on the north. Then they zoom in into the top. Generally speaking, there's no living things, like there's no movement at all, other than the wind blowing on rags and the flag and whatnot. But there is no soldiers walking around, which means this is not secure. So despite the mapping say confirm confident control of this part of the settlement is nonsense. There's no confident control. If they are confident, they'll be walking around. So just to note, other YouTube channels or analysts on Telegram or on Twitter might tell you that this is taken by the Russians. This entire region is confidently taken. It's not confidently taken. There's no soldiers walking around. So just to note, I'm quite sure the Russians will take over this place soon, maybe within the next 2 days. But this geolocation is not evidence of Russian control. So I just want to highlight this is the case. Otherwise, the entire northern part, this is already taken by the Russians, and Ukrainians continue to get shelled. Near the river, the Ukrainian forces probably have a position around here to facilitate the withdrawal up to the other side of the Merkyali River. So this is currently ongoing because previously there's already artillery shelling in this position already. So this is not impossible to believe that that's the case. The battle for Velyka Novosilka continue, but given how quiet it is, based on the video footage of this region here, yeah, I think things are not looking very good. Right, there's hardly any fighting close to this area here. So everyone is in ambush, in hiding. So that's what it is. There's another geolocation of another strike at Novo Charituvate. So that's all. Otherwise, no more fighting around the sector. Over in the Constantinople region, fighting is reported towards Oradne, Roslev, as well as Constantinople. That's all. Kurakove region, we have fighting reported Andrievka, Ulakli, which is probably coming from the south. This is already mentioned just now. Fighting is reported at Sukiali and Yantarne, with Ukrainian mapping showing that Russian forces that advance from Sukiali expanding northward as they continue to squeeze this salient, which I realize I prefer the word bulge, like squeezing this bulge. And at Dashny, Russian forces have entered into the northern part of Dashny, as they or at least on the very outskirts of Dashny. So the battle for Dashny has now begun. Fighting is also mentioned at Shevchenko. And I want to zoom in. So this part is pretty obvious. Nothing much to really talk about. At Dashny, based on Ukrainian mapping, Russian forces have entered from the north, which is also where previously Russian forces was geolocated. So this makes a lot of sense, and Russian forces taken full control of these dumping earth dumping hill in the northeast of Dashny, and they are now entering. I feel like the capture will be pretty quick. Ukrainian forces previously was counter-attacking in this region, as this geolocation was a Ukrainian counter-attack. So this counter-attack failed, so the Russians are now moving in. So I think Dashny is gone. So again, I will have to say, if the Ukrainians are watching, withdraw. This is not a place to fight. This is a stupid place to fight. You're getting surrounded, you're getting encircled, and it's going to be exactly like the situation in Velyka Novosilka. In fact, Bigari from DPA Open Mind, he's a Ukrainian. He based on what he has read, he said that the soldiers, he told me, but I didn't see the source itself. He said that the soldiers at Velyka Novosilka, the Ukrainian ones, has already warned that they're going to get encircled 3 weeks ago. So it's not even a surprise to the soldiers on the ground. However, the commands are not doing favors for the soldiers. They're forcing them to hold positions where they cannot hold. Really reminds me of the Germans army of World War II. Over in the southern flank of the Pokrov front, fighting is reported at Novo Yelizavetivka, Nedievka. Russian forces expanded control north of Novo Andrievka, as well as some claims. These are all claims though, but this is a claim, this Russian claim of a strengthening of the front line at Yasinove. Fighting is reported at Slovianka, and the fighting is now moving to Sripny. So that's all. This frontline change is one of the latest one, where the Russian forces are entering towards Nedievka. So they are now moving into Nedievka right now. So that's all. That's all about this. Over in the Pokrov sector, let me see whether I can. Yeah, let's do this. So in this sector, Russian forces strengthened the front line. This is based on Russian claims. At Uspenivka, and fighting is still being mentioned over at Novosilka, Uspenivka. Russian Defense Ministry announced the capture of Solone. And then based on Ukrainian mapping, Russian forces flanked south of Udashny, capturing some grounds there. Geolocation of Russian forces confirmed the Russians are also flanking east of Udashny. Geolocation of Russian forces confirmed Russians have advanced north of Kotliny. However, Russian mapping claims that the entire Kotliny has been captured by the Russian forces. Fighting is reported at Pischany as well. So this area here, as usual, is the Russians just expanding in all directions. As usual, the core direction generally is in 3 different directions. So one direction is heading towards the border between Donetsk and Dnipro. The other direction is to flank Udashny. Another one is the conquest of Kotliny, as probably they are going to go north to cut off the other highway. So that's the current situation over in Pokrovsk. In south of Pokrovsk, and let's say put this as a Minohrad sector then. And the Pokrovsk sector, let's see, I can put it in, or yes. So fighting is reported towards Pokrovsk. There is a various geolocation of FPV drone strikes on Ukrainian positions. So not very important, simply showing that Ukrainians are defending in these regions here. That's why they are attracting FPV drones. Fighting is reported at Vyrozdenia, Novoyukrenka, Zelene, Lysivka, towards Minohrad, Promin, as well as Mariolibivka. So generally this front line, as usual, as I always say, is a static line because this is too close to the city. The Russians do not have the tactical posture to actually go for the cities yet. If not, it's going to be like a suicide run. Very similar to what the Russians have did when they initially attacked Voleda for the first few times. Yeah, a lot of people died in this frontal attack towards Voleda. They think that, we are the Russians, we are the Orcs, we are going to conquer them. Yeah, we got more armor, and then they all die. So bad idea. So the Russians in these almost 3 years now, as in 1 month's time, is going to be the 3-year anniversary of the Ukraine war. Because it's on the 24th. So today as I record this, the 25th. So yesterday was 1 month away from the 3-year anniversary of the war. So the Russians learned that it is stupid to go on frontal attacks, which is a stratagem of knowledge that have been 5,000 years. Everyone in the past know that it's stupid to go on a frontal attack. But yeah, people watch too much movies. Yeah, they think that this heroic charge, banzai, and as you know, all banzai charge ends with everyone dying. So no banzai charge is successful. I just want to tell you. For fighting reported at Zelene Pole in the northern flank, Baranivka, Vodyany Druhi, Yelezavetivka, and Mariolibivka, as mentioned earlier. So this is the northern flank. Went quiet. You can see that it looks very complicated here. Don't worry, tomorrow's mapping, it will look a lot cleaner. So because this is a lot of frontline changes, so it looks a bit complicated. So that's all. And we move into the thorax front. New York region continued to be very quiet as the fighting remains to be largely in the thorax region. So we zoom in here. So in the thorax region, fighting is reported at Leonidivka, Novopasky or Petrivka, Skebenivka, Dilievka, thorax region, and Krimsky. Because of our mapping, there's hardly any changes at thorax. But if you look at Ukrainian mapping, there seems to be a lot of changes in thorax because they put so much gray zone. So there's always more grounds where they concede that it's firmly under Russian control. But as far as I'm concerned, most of thorax is captured by the Russian forces. So the battle is mainly for Krimsky. And geolocation, this is one of the latest geolocation. Russian forces advance further into Krimsky. And so the Ukrainians are definitely trying their best to defend this area. They are holding their lines for as much as they can. But not particularly successful. I'm trying to find how do I, is this a better way to draw a defense line? Yeah, not difficult, not so easy. Just do this, just do this. Yeah. So anyway, that's what it is. What, in case you're wondering what I'm talking about. So previously, when I initially start to draw these arrows, a defense line, I'll draw it like this with pokes, with pokes. This shows that where they are defending. So, but this is too slow, so I just forget it. I just dot. So yeah. So I think just dot is better. No, don't waste time. So over at the southern flank or central and southern flank, yeah, so central and southern flank of Chasiv Yar, Bakhmut front, Russian forces are attacking at Bilohora, Stupovsky, mainly. Over at Chasiv Yar, a lot of things happening around here. Russian forces have been geolocated to confirm that they have firm control of the entire this western drumstick. In case you do not know, this is a drumstick. They have taken this entire drumstick here of Chasiv Yar. Shelling is reported at Shavony and Podilsky, and the Russian forces has been geolocated in the southern part of the forest, meaning that they have been successful at capturing these buildings around in the middle of the forest. This is where the witches stay. Like this is actually a secret hideout for witches, where they do experiments and brew potions. So this is where they throw their victims, and this like the graveyard where they throw all the dead animals that they experimented on with witchcraft. Which clearly I'm just talking nonsense. If you believe that, then you need to check your brain. But let's moving on to the northern flank of the Bakhmut front. Fighting is reported at Veselkivka, Orikovo Vasilivka, and Novomarkove. The interesting thing about this area is that there's always fighting being reported around this sector. Orikovo Vasilivka has been mentioned also quite recently, quite often. Maybe the Russians are making some push in this region. I would say for the Russians, I think it would be beneficial for them to take this area here. Yeah. But anywhere further, I think it's not that good. It's not that sensible because you can see all these crazy lines of defense, unless no one is manning them. So over in the Sivers front, this front went very quiet. Fighting is reported at Bilohorivka and Ivano-Darivka, but that's all. There's nothing much about this. Over the Liman front, at the Liman front, the fighting is so you see, nothing really happened over the Crimea sector. So we are moving more like this. That's why it's called Liman front now, or the crispy lemon front, because it's Krasny Liman in the original name, in Russian. Krasny Liman, crispy lemon. Fighting is reported at Yampolevka, Torske, and the Ukrainian forces are now counter-attacking over at Kolozyazy. According to Russian sources, geolocation of Ukrainian forces was noted as artillery was repelling Ukrainian attacks. And then fighting is reported towards Zelena Dolena. The information is coming from the Ukrainian Defense Ministry yesterday. So there must be some kind of a Russian attack towards the north. So attack like this, and the Ukrainians are attacking downward. So that's all. Moving on further to the Makievka sector, fighting is reported over at Makievka and Nevsky, or Balka Zuravka right now. No, the name have changed. Based on Deep State UA, the pro-Ukrainian source map that the Russians have straightened the front line north of Nevsky. So that's about it. Fighting remains to be in this sector. Over in the Borova front, fighting is reported at Novoyehorivka, Kopanki, Zeleny High, Novokrilakivka, towards Novoplatonivka, and Zarizove. So these strategically have no change. The lack of frontline change is disturbing because you can see this is pretty intense. To have no frontline change, either the Ukrainians are doing very well or we are not being informed. So let's see how this goes. Moving into the Kupiansk front. At the Kupiansk front, fighting is reported at Petropavlivka, Pischany, Novo-Osinove, Khrushchevka. And there's a confirmation of the full capture of Tbaivka according to the Ukrainian mapping, as they concede that Tbaivka is now firmly under Russian control. So that's all. Nothing particularly important happened around here. We move on into the Voreshna front. At the Voronezh front, Russian forces continue to attack in the Battle of Voronezh and in the Zapadne region. Ukrainian mapping have shown the Russian forces captured the forest north of Zapadne, as I mentioned in the quick update, as well as in I don't think I did a quick update. I did battlefield analysis and the conclusions. So that's all. So I repeated this information quite a number of times. But who knows? Maybe you didn't watch the previous 2 videos. Viewership is not that high compared to the subscription. So I'm not surprised if you didn't watch it. So moving into the Kharkiv front. At the Kharkiv front, fighting is reported at Voschansk, Lipsy, and Mali Prokori. Nothing special about the Kharkiv front. We move on to the Kursk front, or the Kursk front. At the Kursk front, in the southern flank and the Sudzha region, fighting Russian forces attack Guevo, Malovoye, Manovka, Sudzha. Shelling is reported at Rubenskina, as well as Zaleshenka. So that's all. Geolocation of FPV drone strike in Sudzha. So that's all. Russians are attacking this area. I believe is a southern flanking, a big arrow movement around Sudzha. So moving into the northern flank. Northeastern flank. Fighting is reported at Kotsitsa, Chikatskoye, Parashnoye, and Zazulevka was actually mentioned. It could be shelling. It could be an attack. We do not know, because the lack of frontline updates. Who knows? This frontline is already drastically outdated. Who knows, right? Over in the northern flank, fighting is not mentioned around this sector. As mentioned in the conclusions, I suspect this is already outdated. The Russians may have taken off these grounds. The fighting is mainly in this chain of villages. Fighting is reported as Staraya Sorokina, Nikolaevka, Malaya Loknia may be coming from the other side. And then fighting is reported at Viktorovka and Nikolsky, with geolocation Russian forces confirming Russian advance in the west of Viktorovka and Nikolsky. So that's all. And then the rest of the Kursk front is basically the western flank, with the Russian forces attacking towards Lebedevka, Svertiklovo, with geolocation confirming Russian advance in this sector, as well as Nikolaevo Darino. And that's all from this region. Some geolocation of Ukrainian forces was noted. FPV drone strike hitting Ukrainian armored recovery vehicle. Clearly show that they are trying to recover some armored vehicles in the fierce fighting around here. But that's all. So that's about it. So this is the situation report, or the summary for the day of 1065, 1066 for the past 2 days. Thank you for watching. Do press the like button, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys. And please press the like button, because the more of you guys press the like button, there's a higher chance, not confirmed, but a higher chance YouTube might push DPS video harder, because the viewership is very low right now. So definitely, the revenue has dropped by half, and yeah, this is not good. So no income means I have to find income elsewhere, which means I might spend less time on the YouTube. So let's hope we not go towards that direction. So help me, and help you. So wish you will help me and help you, and I'll see you guys in the next update.